Okay, so now we're going to start out doing a couple problems. The first thing that we want to talk about is the unit circle. This is a very helpful tool that you'll be using over your next couple of weeks in trig. So we're going to introduce this topic now. The unit circle is a circle, sorry, let me label it. The unit circle is a circle that has a radius of 1 unit. Now that's a little weird. In other words, the distance from the center to the outside of the circle is the radius of the circle, the distance. And we're going to say that this circle has a radius of 1. In other words, the distance from here to here, or the distance from here to here, the radius is 1 unit. We're not indicating inches or feet, we're just saying let it be 1 unit. So, does that make sense?
Yes.
The radius is equal to 1, that's why we call it a unit circle, 1 unit. Now, when we do a unit circle and you use a unit circle, we always begin by marking right here as 0 degrees. So this is where we're always going to be measuring from, okay? So from right here is 0 degrees, and going counterclockwise in this direction, our angles will be measured from here, and they will be positive in this direction. So our angles will be in the positive when we go this direction. So approximately right here, if we go up here, that would form an angle of approximately 30 degrees. And then if we go up another 30 degrees, so right here is approximately 30-degree angle right here, 30-degree angle. And then if we go up another 30 degrees, we get to what measure? 60, yeah, 60 what? Degrees, yeah, say your units, 60 degrees. So a unit circle is going to break up your circle in increments of 30 degrees, okay? As you see on your unit circle, increments of 30 degrees, okay? And so this would be what measure here? 90 degrees, very good. Thank you for the degrees. All right, good. So our angles are going to be positive in this direction. So the unit circle, I'm going to finish talking about it, but remember, it's just a tool, okay? We're going to be using this tool to help us to solve problems, so keep it handy, all right? Now, the unit circle is also broken up in increments of 45 degrees too. So from here to halfway to 90, right, would be how many degrees?
45 degrees.
Yeah, so it'd be approximately about right here, okay? So, right there, okay? So our unit circle is also going to be broken up in increments of 45 degrees. 45 degrees plus 45 is 90 degrees, plus 45 more degrees takes us to halfway, right? And that will be how much right there?
135 degrees.
Very good. Yes, 135 degrees there. Okay, so the unit circle is broken up in increments of 30 degrees and also increments of 45 degrees all the way around, okay? So I'll keep going to finish it off. If I add 45 to this, I get to right here, so I'm at halfway around is how much?
180.
Yeah, halfway around the circle is 180 degrees. If I keep adding another 45 degrees to that, that brings me to 225 degrees. Good job, right there. Now, if I add 45 to that, that brings me down to here. Where am I at now? At what measure?
270 degrees.
Very good. So that means if I go from beginning right here at 0 degrees and I go all the way 3/4 of the way, is that 1/4, 2/4? Yeah, 3/4 of the way around to right here, I'll be at 270 degrees. Okay. And then if we add another 45 degrees to our unit circle, that'll take us halfway between here and here. So that means if I start here and I have an angle of 315 degrees, right? Now, if I add 45 degrees to that, that takes me to 301.
360.
And that brings me right back to the beginning, to the start, to 0 degrees. So all the way around the unit circle will be 360 degrees, okay? Now, if we go in the clockwise direction from 0 degrees, starting from right here, if I go in this direction, our angles will be, what do you think? What kind of angles will they be? If they're positive in this direction, going from 0 in this direction, they'll be what kind of angles? Negative, very good. So this would be a negative in this direction, our angles will be negative. Okay? So, in other words, if I start here at 0 degrees and I go negative 90 degrees, where am I going to end up?
Negative 10.
Well, at the bottom, right? Right down here?
Yes.
Yeah. So this would be from 0 degrees. If someone asked you to locate negative 90 degrees, you would go from here down to here. This would be negative 90. So notice that negative 90 degrees and positive 270 degrees are coterminal. In other words, they terminate or they end at the same location. Which brings us to an important point, and which is there are multiple ways to refer to the same point on the unit circle. I can refer to this point right here on the unit circle as 180 degrees. Or if I go in the negative direction, can anybody tell me what would that be in the negative direction if I end up right here?
Negative 180
Degrees. Good job. Yeah, negative 180 degrees and positive 180 degrees terminate at the same point. They pretty much define the same point. So we can say that they are coterminal because they end at the same place. All right? So there are multiple ways to refer to the same point on the unit circle. All right? Another property of the unit circle is that it goes around. If you go around once around, you end up right here at 360 degrees. But if you go 40 more degrees, you'll end up at 400 degrees, right? So 360 degrees plus 40 more degrees would take us to about right here at 400 degrees. So there's a property of the unit circle which says that it repeats every 360 degrees. You end up back at the same place. So there's multiple ways to refer to the same point. I could talk about 30 degrees as this point right here as positive 30 degrees, or I could say that this point right here is negative 330 degrees. If I start here and go in the negative direction and I end up at the same place as 30 degrees, I've gone negative 330 degrees. So they are coterminal, they end at the same place. So again, there's multiple ways to refer to the same point on the unit circle. Now, another thing, another unit that we have, let me get